psychopath. When you're lost, take your trust. That's me. That's so sick. I'm a fraud, call me a liar, a true psycho. Ooh, I'm a fraud, call me a liar, a true psychopath. Don't love me. When you're lost, take your trust. Yeah, that's me. Oh, that's me, that's me, that's me. Yes, I'm a fraud. Call me a liar, a true psychopath.
Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody on this Saturday night? I hope you guys are all doing very, very, very well. Hope you're having a good weekend so far. Last week was long. I don't know, even though it was a short work week, it was a long week for whatever reason. I don't know. But anyway, I'm so glad that all of you guys are here. Before we get started, um, I would just like to have a word from our sponsor, just really, really quick, and then we'll get this show on the road, okay? Because we got a lot to go over, and I can't wait to get into it with you. All right, here we go.
And Kai, when you're on Jen Lou's channel, what do you do with the like button?
Smash, smash, smash! Yeah.
All right, so be like Kai, smash, smash, smash that like button. All right, so let me tell you what's going to happen tonight. Yes, we're going to be talking about Harley. Okay, I know that Harley is a very, very polarizing figure in this case. What I'm going to present to you is a combination of crime from the Letecia Stauch case files. Okay. Now, the case files that we requested are the reports. So does this mean this is all they looked into with as far as Harley goes? No. But this is what we have so far. This is what we've requested. This is what they sent us. I will tell you that I scrolled through, I read today all 1,050 pages because that was the only way for me to find the stuff about Harley because her name is redacted from everything. Okay. So I had to read all 1,050 pages. Look to, so I will tell you that the one thing that isn't in the reports, which I kind of didn't think it would be, but I was just hoping it would be there, is Harley's proffer, like a summary, because that was her interview. Okay, but it wasn't there, and that's a bummer. But that's okay because I'm sure it's somewhere, and we will find it if it is. The other, so we're going to go through the stuff that's in the case files that pertains to Harley. Then, but simultaneously, we're going to go through the testimony and from Harley, specifically her text messages between Harley and her mom, because while extractions were done on everybody's phones, for whatever reason, the extractions that were done on everybody else's phones aren't really in the case file. They are, but they aren't. It's kind of hard to explain. But Harley's texts just between Harley and Letecia are not in this, and it's not all the text messages. So it's just a little bit of like the Cellbrite dump. It's not the whole thing that's in this. So the only way for me to find the texts was for me to go and listen to Harley's testimony because that's where the texts are. So, okay, we're going to do that. And then I have some other stuff that for us to listen to. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me get over here to the Google Drive so that I can pull up the page that we need to be looking at. And the way that I want to do this tonight, you guys, is listen, like I said, I know that Harley is a very, very, very polarizing person. Okay. She is. And everybody is entitled to their opinion. I'm not going to give mine. I am simply going to present the evidence the way that it was presented in the case file and and through court. You guys can all make up your own minds how you feel after listening to all of this. I would just ask that there be no fighting in the chat and everybody, be respectful. It's fine to disagree, but let's not like call names or whatever. Just disagree with the argument being made with the comment, not the commenter, if that makes sense. Okay, so let me get to this first page that we need to get to, because you guys all know I can't really type and text it, talk and type at the same time. It's a problem. All right, so let me get you over here so I can share. And I can't promise you, like, I don't know. I just hope this answers some questions for some people. If you have any, I hope it answers the questions. All right. Okay. So if the mods could keep an eye on the chat after I read this page, we'll talk about it, and then but I can't read the page and watch chat because it has to take me over to a different. I have to go over here to this screen. So I'm going to zoom in so it's bigger for you guys. Hopefully that's better. Okay. So this starts out with the narrative of what happened on the 27th when they were when the police were called to the Stauch residence by Letecia. And I just want to read this little part because this is a little, I feel a little uncomfortable, but let's just get through it. Okay. Mrs. Stauch said on January 26th, they went for a hike and she had given Gannon medication. Mrs. Stauch noticed that Gannon defecated on himself twice during this hike. Mrs. Stauch described Gannon as a gamer and noticed his Nintendo Switch was missing from the residence. According to Mrs. Stauch, nothing else was missing from the residence. Due to the possibility that Gannon may have been hiding in the residence, Deputy Youngkin and I received consent to search to look for Gannon. I noticed Mrs. Stauch did not pay attention to what we were doing or what we were searching for until Deputy Youngkin went into the garage. Mrs. Stauch followed Deputy Youngkin into the garage when he started looking in the garage. After we searched the upper level of the residence, I asked Mrs. Stauch if there was anything on his phone. Mrs. Stauch said that she found a Google search where Gannon had looked to see if a phone could be tracked. Mrs. Stauch's daughter was present for most of the interview. She noted that it is not unusual for Gannon to leave his phone or anything behind. Mrs. Stauch also noted that Gannon just got off restriction for his game console on this date. She stated that the previous night, Gannon was playing his console without permission and heard somebody come downstairs. He threw his game console to the side and knocked over a candle. She stated this started a fire. Miss Stauch later took us downstairs and showed us where she had put a rug in front of the couch where the fire was. She stated that she was trying to clean it up around the time Gannon left. She showed me an approximate 3 by 3 foot patch of carpet that she had cut the burned carpet out. Mrs. Stauch said that she was trying to replace it with another piece of carpet so Al did not find out. Okay. So that is the first thing that I wanted to show you guys. All right. Now, let's see. Now we're going to get into the 28th of January. Okay. Now, on the 28th of January, you guys will remember that that's what I've been doing, Mo. I'm filling in the blanks. Okay. So the 28th, if you remember, oh wow. Oh, thank you, Melissa Strange. I appreciate that very much. That was very, very generous. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Okay, so on the 28th, this is when Al and Letecia start the day off by going to the Starbucks and meeting detectives and giving them the interview. So while they're doing the interview, right, Lena and Harley are still back at the house. Okay, and this is what we're going to talk about next. Okay. All right. So I have to scroll down because it's at the bottom. All right. There's some typos in here. All right, here we go. At approximately 7:50 p.m., Detective V. Hill and I were directed to respond to 6627 Mandan Drive to check on two kids. That would be Harley and Lena. Both of us knocked on the door, rang the doorbell, and made announcements. However, there was no answer. I want to be clear about this. At 7:50 p.m., the interview at the Starbucks is long over. Nobody knows where Letecia is at this point. She's MIA, and Al is at the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. Okay, so that's what's happening. To check on two kids, both of us knocked on the door, rang the doorbell, and made announcements. However, there was no answer. I was provided a telephone number for, I'm not sure who that is, who I attempted to contact. However, there was no answer, and I left a message asking for her to call me. It's going to be either Harley or Letecia, but it looks a little short. Anyway, the blank does. As Detective V. Hill and I maintained visual on the residence for a possible search warrant, a vehicle pulled up. I contacted the female who identified herself as Gannon's biological mother, Landon. The brother, and I cannot remember his name, Landon was also with the male individual she stated was her brother. I informed Landon that no one enter the house at this time because a search warrant was being sought, and allowed her and her brother to sit in the back of our vehicle. While in the vehicle, I recorded the conversation with Landon on my handheld audio recorder. The recording was later placed on a CD and entered into evidence under item number 5 by Detective V. Hill. The following is a synopsis of the conversation and should not be considered a verbatim transcription. The conversation was not from the beginning, as I tried to locate and turn on the device. Landon stated her kids flew back to Colorado from her residence on January 7th, 2020, and she was, quote, terrified of stuff like this happening, quote, because her kids are, quote unquote, watched. Landon stated the first time Letecia called her was, quote, yesterday from an unknown number and from Gannon's phone. In addition, Letecia sent her pictures of Gannon's room from, I don't know what that's supposed to be, at 5:57 a.m. on Tuesday, January 28, 2020. Landon stated she had not spoken with Letecia in over a year. Detective Farrell arrived on scene and transported Letecia and her brother, which it should be Landon, to the office of the sheriff. Okay. Detective V. Hill and I remained at the residence to secure it for a search warrant. We observed a front light in the house turn on and the garage open. I made contact with two individuals in the garage, Lena and Harley, who were getting into a white Volkswagen Jetta bearing Colorado plate, blah, blah, blah. Uh, Harley advised they were headed to go to Starbucks because she had been up all night looking for Gannon. I asked Harley if it was okay if we could go in the house as media was on scene, but she first said her parents were not home and then eventually agreed to allow Detective Vigil and I into the home. I had been advised that Lena's father wanted her transported to the office of the sheriff. I asked Harley if she would be willing to go to OTS to be interviewed. However, she said she would not. When I asked why, she said because of the stories, but would not clarify with me what stories she was talking about. I attempted several times to ask and convince Harley to go in for an interview, but she refused. Harley stated she has not had contact with her mom, nor has her mom attempted to contact her. I advised Harley we would be conducting a search of the residence and she had the option to stay or to leave, and she stated she wanted to stay. After Lena was transported by Detective Marissa Williams to OTS, I attempted to interview Harley using my handheld audio recorded. The conversation was later placed on a CD and entered into evidence under item number 7 by Detective Vigil. The following is synopsis of the conversation and should not be considered a verbatim transcription. I again asked Harley why she did not want to speak with us, but she continued to say because, quote, of the stories. When asked what the stories were, Harley said, quote, I shouldn't have to tell you guys that. I asked Harley what she thought happened or where Gannon may have gone, and she said, quote, you guys should have all then information. Harley said she doesn't know where Gannon may have gone and does care about what happens to him. I again asked Harley why she doesn't want to assist. She would not respond when asked about her mom's location. This is about the search waiver. Do you guys want me to read this too? Because I can, but it's not really about Harley. I'll just read it. I'm already here. I might as well. At approximately 9:00 p.m., I was advised by other detectives a search waiver had been signed for the residence. I assisted in conducting the preliminary search looking for evidence of foul play. In the master bedroom, the residence is a single-story family home with a finished basement. In addition, there's a two-car attached garage. I observed the house was generally clean and in order. There were pizza boxes and drinks in the kitchen. I was told was given to the family the night before as they were looking for Gannon. In the master bedroom, which is located on the main floor, I observed a green pair of boys' pajama top and bottoms on a round bamboo chair. However, the pajamas were not collected, and I did not observe any stains on them. In the master bathroom, I observed the tub was filled with water a quarter of the way and appeared to be clean water. Detective Farrell felt the water temperature and stated it was cold. In Gannon's room, which is located in the basement of the house, I observed his room was generally clean. Gannon's room contained two twin beds, one on each side of the wall. As you enter the room, the bed to the right has a single fitted sheet that was white with blue fish, one pillow and a pillowcase that matched the sheets, and a throw blanket. When I removed the fitted sheet, I observed a stain on the top left corner. Deputy Vigil advised on the carpet next to the bed described above, the floor was damp with an ammonia smell. I also smelled the carpet and could smell an ammonia scent. At this time, I have nothing further. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me go to page 60. All right. At approximately 10 p.m., Detective Williams and I arrived on scene at 6627 Mandan Drive. I learned that Harley, Lena, older stepsister to Gannon, date of birth, did not wish to be interviewed. However, Gannon's biological sister, Lena, date of birth, did agree to speak with detectives. While at the address, I was advised by Detective Jennifer Ardent that detectives on scene would be conducting a search of the house based on a search waiver signed by Al. Detective Ardent asked if I was able to stay and assist with the search while Detective Williams transported Lena to the OTS. I agreed to assist with the search. Interview with Harley. After Detective Williams left with Lena, Detective Ardent attempted to talk with Harley. Detective Ardent stated she understood that she did not wish to go into the office, but asked if she would be willing to speak at the house. Harley was sitting on the couch of the upstairs main room and appeared to be playing on her cell phone. Harley told Detective Ardent she wasn't talking to anyone. Detective Ardent asked why Harley did not wish to speak. Harley replied by saying she saw what people were saying on Facebook. Detective Ardent asked what she meant, as she had not seen the Facebook page. Harley shrugged and said we already knew and had all the information, so she wasn't saying anything. Detective Ardent tried to ask if she knew where Gannon or Mrs. Stauch was, and she replied no. I set up evidence collection supplies in the kitchen area located next to the upstairs main room. While the other detectives began searching the house, I attempted to make conversation with Harley. Harley was still on her phone, but would engage in conversation with me on multiple subjects that did not relate to her brother. I learned from Harley that she had only lived in Colorado for approximately 1 year. Before Colorado, Harley said she lived in South Carolina, where she graduated from her high school early. Harley said she was going to online school now and was waiting to go to basic training. I asked Harley what branch of military she was joining, and she stated she was joining the Air Force to be a dietitian. Harley and I had several other conversations about her dogs, her boyfriend, and various other topics in which she was fully engaged in the conversation. I told Harley I had briefly seen one of the Facebook groups earlier and observed her comment about Lena and her seeing Gannon. I asked Harley if those comments were what she was referring to Detective Ardent about. Harley shrugged and did not elaborate. Mrs. Stauch's location unknown. I learned that Detective Bethel was still unable to talk to Miss Stauch, and her location was unknown. While I was in the kitchen, I heard Harley answer her phone and speak with an unknown person. I heard her say, "Yeah, Chick-fil-A." Harley concluded her conversation and asked me if she could leave the house. I told Harley she was free to leave, and she began gathering items from the house. I informed Detective Ardent that Harley was leaving and it was possible she was meeting up with her mother, Miss Stauch. I stated that I believe that she might be going to Chick-fil-A. Detective Nick B decided to follow Harley after she left the house to see if she met up with Mrs. Stauch or the Tiguan. Harley took her silver SUV and immediately sped away from the house. Detective B was unable to follow her and did not locate her at Chick-fil-A, so returned to the Mandan address. Okay, so let me go over here and let's talk about what we've heard or what I've read. Okay, so that was a lot and I'm a little parched. How's everybody doing over here? Let me scroll up in the chat and see if we have some questions and stuff. Hello to everybody coming in. I am so glad that you guys are all here. Okay. So let's see. You guys have any questions? All right. Now, we've heard all of this, right? This is what's taking place, okay, in the home, okay? Now, simultaneously as this is going on, okay, Letecia is communicating with Harley. She is texting her, okay? So now what I'm going to show you is the testimony, because this is where the texts are talked about. Yeah, we found Modine. He's been located. He's safe and sound. He's in here giving me a rash of shit as always, which, as you know, I love. But I will only allow him to give me a rash of shit, nobody else. All right, let's fix this really quick because I don't want to see live chat replay. And I want to make sure this is where it needs to be. What the frack? Stream you guys. Sorry. All right, it's already been added. All right, let's. Weird. I wonder why it's doing this. Hold on. All right, ready? I'm going to turn on the closed captions because I don't know how the quality of this audio. All right. All right, here we go.
Yes.
And what is it?
It's text messages between my mom and I.
And are those text messages between January 25th, 2020 at 3:42 p.m. all the way January 29th, 2020 to 4:27 p.m.?
Yes.
And does those text messages in that notebook accurately reflect the conversations that you were having with your mom via text messages during that time period?
Yes.
This time we'd move to admit People's Exhibit 205.
Exhibit 205 will be admitted. Go ahead.
Now, in People's Exhibit 205, we're going to publish that and go through them, okay, Ms. Hunt? Would that help you kind of establish a timeline as to when conversations are being made?
Yes.
You can go ahead and publish 205, please. And Ms. Hunt, you can either look at the notebook
Okay.
or the TV screen, whatever's easier for you. So on the first page, we see a text on January 25th at 9:09 p.m. Do you see that?
Yes.
And do you know what that's regarding?
Something about our dogs.
Now, for the jury's benefit, there's a blue bubble and a green bubble up on the screen. Who is the blue bubble reference to?
I am the blue bubble.
So that's coming from your phone.
Yes.
And the green bubble?
My mom.
And this, what we see on the screen behind us looks like a picture. See that?
Yes.
What is that picture of, you know?
Of one of our dogs.
And do you know why it says maybe Nicole there on the green bubble?
Do not.
But you know that's your mom's phone number, right?
Yes.
And so do you remember having this conversation with her back on the 25th?
Yes.
Oh, please. The next message says they are saying it may have been his daughters. Do you remember what that was a reference to?
No.
Is this about the same time when Kobe Bryant, the basketball player, died in a helicopter accident?
Yes.
And were you and your mom discussing that prior to you going to work that day?
Yes.
Do you know if that's in reference to perhaps Kobe Bryant's daughters being on the helicopter?
Yes.
And do you remember having that conversation now that I've said those things?
I do.
Okay. If we can scroll down, please. Now, we have a blue bubble that says daughter up at the top. Is that your phone number at the time?
Yes.
So you say, oh no. Is that right?
Yes.
Can you scroll down, please? That was with him? Is that what you say?
Oh no. Yes.
Okay. Can we go ahead and scroll down a little further, please? One up there. Can you go back? I'm sorry. Back, right there. All right, so we're now at January 26, 2020 at 5:11 p.m. You're where at this time? Do you remember?
I'm at work
And do you know where your mom and the kids are?
on a hike.
So you say where you're going, right?
Yes.
Are you there at 5:11 p.m.?
Yes.
And you can look at the TV if it's easier to see it, okay?
Okay.
She says, get good. Can we scroll down? She says food. Remember that?
Yes.
And why are you asking her where? Anywhere close to my work, I want chips.
Because I was hungry.
You wanted your mom to bring you some food, right?
Yes.
Do you remember having this conversation with her back then? Go ahead, scroll down. Now, here she said,
I was wondering if somebody was going to ask this. So, yes, they refer to the Jetta as a silver SUV. I'm not a car person, but I'm like 93% sure that a Jetta is just a sedan. It's not a SUV. So I don't know why they refer to it that way. When I was going through the case file and the reports were coming. So what would happen is the officer or the detectives would watch the Ring camera or the Vivint or any of that kind of stuff from the neighbors, excuse me, and they continued to refer to this silver SUV. And it was kind of confusing because I could not understand what they were talking about, but it being a silver SUV. So it was a little, and then it hit me. It is a white Jetta, but they don't refer to Harley's vehicle like that. They refer to Harley's vehicle as a silver SUV. Why? I don't know. At least that's what because otherwise it wasn't when we're not there yet. Like, I'm not going to talk about that tonight, but when we do go through we will eventually go talk about that stuff, but maybe by then I'll have a better idea, but they refer to it as an SUV. Let me think. I'll have to get back to you on that one, Megan. I'm not exactly sure because they've redacted Harley's birth date, and so I don't know how soon after. I don't know when exactly she turns 18. All right, but let's keep continuing because I just want you guys to know the conversations that were taking place. I just wanted to keep it into context so that you guys would hear the conversations that are happening between Harley and Letecia on Sunday, on Monday, and on Tuesday. Okay? All right.
says, no, LOL, we are going up the street because Gannon pooped his pants. Is that the first time you hear about Gannon poop in his pants?
For that day, yes.
Had that happened before?
Previously, yes.
Did Gannon have some stomach issues?
Yes.
That wasn't too surprising to you when you saw this message?
No.
Was it surprising to your mom?
No.
You say OMG. What does that stand for?
Oh my gosh.
I think everyone knows that, but I hope you understand why I asked that. Okay. Can we go ahead and scroll down, please? So does she, what do you think she means when she says, yeah, all that movie?
Like exercising or moving around.
Did that in the past cause issues with Gannon's stomach and cause him to have accidents?
To my knowledge, yes.
How did you get that knowledge?
What I was told.
You know what? You're right. Now it's clicking. So the Jetta is white, but I'm trying to remember when they took the Kia back, because there wouldn't be a reason for Harley to be driving the Kia. Even Letecia wasn't driving the Kia at that point because she was getting her Tiguan washed. Remember when she showed up at the El Paso County Sheriff's Office? She had they went out to the parking garage where her Tiguan was parked, and she was driving the Tiguan. So I'm not exactly sure. It's a little bit confusing, and I will tell you this. I'm not going to focus too much on that for now because I want to get with Crime Curious, because she has the memory like a steel trap. She remembers all of these little details, and some of it is because I was so focused on just finding stuff out about Harley for this show. So we're going to keep going. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm going to try not to interrupt anymore.
Who told her?
I don't know.
Remember?
I don't know because it was said multiple times, so I don't remember.
No problem. We can go ahead and scroll down, please. Okay, let's stop right there, please. So now we're at the point, it's January 26th at 9:54 p.m. Are you still at work?
Yes.
Remember getting this text message that we see on the screen now that says, "Do panic, but Gannon turned on a candle downstairs, set the downstairs on fire. I had to get the dogs and Lena out and run back downstairs and jump on him with a cover and put it out. I kept jumping on it."
Yes.
What were you doing at Massage Envy? What was your role?
I worked at the front desk.
So were you able to read these as soon as you got them, or with customers, or what was going on?
We were pretty busy often, so I was probably reading it in between.
And then she says at 9:54 and 52 seconds, he is fine, he is scared and saying sorry and freaking out. Do you remember getting that?
Yes.
And do you remember how you responded to these text messages from your mom?
Yes, I was reading them pretty quickly because I was at work and I thought she was saying that the fire was on our dogs.
And you know that because the text messages are coming up, or do you remember doing that?
I remember, yeah.
And tell us about your dogs. How many dogs did you have?
We had 2 dogs, a French bulldog and an English bulldog.
And when did you get those dogs? Do you remember?
A little before Christmas.
So shortly before all this happened?
Yes.
So December 19, 2019?
I think it was closer to like November.
And do you currently still have those dogs?
Yes.
What's their names?
Sadie and Chance.
What kind of dog is Sadie?
A French bulldog.
Chance is?
An English bulldog.
And Chance was named after who?
My dad.
Okay, we can go ahead and scroll down. So you say the fire was on chance.
Yes.
Now, are you saying this because you didn't really get a chance to read the text or what's going on here?
Yes, I didn't really get a chance to read it, and it was just like a lot, and I was so confused what was going on.
Would Gannon have a habit of lighting candles and hanging out in the basement by himself?
No.
Have you ever seen him light a candle and sit on the couch hanging out next to a candle?
No.
So eventually when we scroll down, we'll see that your mom makes it real clear that it was Gannon that was involved in this candle. What were you thinking when you were getting these text messages?
None of the texts were fully clear, so they were really confusing at first. I was kind of asking to elaborate.
Did she actually send you a picture of the area where this candle supposedly fell down?
Yes.
And do we see that now on the TV screen?
Yes.
It says it was sent January 26, 2020 at 9:57 p.m.
Yes.
Can we go ahead and scroll down again, please? So she says when you ask about Chance, she says, no, Chance was upstairs. The house is smoky. Do you remember her saying that to you?
Yes.
Scroll down, please. Said the first was on Chance. What did you mean by that?
I meant fire.
So did you think there was two fires or?
I thought that's what she meant the whole time, that the fire was on Chance, because she never said any names.
Go ahead and scroll down. They fire, and then she says, I jumped on him with a cover. Remember that?
Yes.
You ever talk to your mom about this text message on the phone or in person about what the heck are you talking about? What happened here?
I did once I got home.
Talk about that when we get there, okay?
Okay.
Let's go ahead and scroll down and look at the text message. And so you say, oh, okay, and she says, I never said Chance. Remember getting that?
Yes.
You said jumped on him, and you said OMG again, right?
Yes.
Says yes, but never said Chance. Read again. Remember her saying that?
Yes.
That I just had a heart attack.
Yes.
Why did you a heart attack? But why did you say I just had a heart attack?
Because I thought that she meant Chance, and still no names were said, so I don't know who she was referring to at that point in time.
Did you eventually, as we'll see as we scroll down, find out that it was Gannon she was referring to?
Yes.
Obviously, when you get home, you find that out, right?
Yeah.
So you're asking where the other dog is, Sadie, right?
Mhm.
Yes or no?
Yes. Sorry.
And your mom responds she was in the chair.
Yes.
So you're concerned about the dogs.
Yes.
Go ahead and scroll down some more. And then you say OMG by the fire. Right?
Yes.
So your mom says that Lena grabbed Sadie and I grabbed Chance NR. Right?
Yes.
And did you talk to her about that one?
Yes.
Dance, now all of us were upstairs. Do you remember her saying that?
Yes.
And scroll down. He was downstairs. You know who she was talking about when she said he was downstairs at that point?
Not until the next message.
So you say Gannon was downstairs.
Yes.
She says yes, right?
Yes.
During this conversation, is that the first time that you realized that Gannon may have been burned or was part of this fire situation?
Yes.
OMG. You ask her, how did he knock it over? Why did
Yes.
you ask her that?
Because at this point, I'm still confused of what happened or how it happened.
Was there some confusion based on your experience of Gannon not being the type of kid that would hang out by a candle in the basement?
Yes.
Scroll down.
Okay, I just wanted to interject something really quick here. When we're listening to this text exchange, we have to keep in mind where Harley was. So she's at work. She is working. And let's also keep in mind that Letecia's texts seem to, she texts the way she speaks. So it's word salad. So I don't, it, to me, the exchange is confusing as well. If I would have gotten these texts, I don't know how I would have reacted. I'm just saying that. I probably would have asked about Gannon, but I feel like the way that the texts were written, it's not, it almost sounds like Letecia wanted her to ask about the dogs and not about Gannon. It's a very, very confusing text exchange. I'm not going to pretend that it's not. All right, here we go.
Says he said he. You say, so it wasn't? I think you meant to say knocked over.
Yes.
I don't even know how you pronounce that. And you can go ahead and scroll down. He says, yes, OMG, can you read? Sounds like a typical mother, teenage daughter text conversation going on here, right?
Yes.
Other than the obvious fire situation.
Yes.
So how did you respond to that, you know?
Yes.
So she goes on and says, he must have knocked it over while asleep unless he was awake and lied. That sound like something Gannon would do?
I don't know because kids will lie sometimes, so I can't really answer that.
Okay, not a problem. You can go ahead and scroll down some more, please. She says, but he acted sorry for sure. And you say AWW. What does AWW stand for?
Oh,
Like O?
no, like, oh,
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. So do you remember about what time you got off work on the 26th during this text messaging process here?
yeah, it was late around like 10:30 or so.
If the information from Massage Envy says you clocked out at 10:18 p.m. on January 26th, would that be accurate?
Yes.
Just refreshing, Your Honor.
Yeah, what? You can ask her what time she thinks she clocked out.
Do you know approximately what time you clocked out and left work that day?
Yes, a little after 10 sometime.
In between 10 and 10:30?
Yes.
Do you remember what time you got home?
Takes me like 25 minutes or so to get home.
Did you talk to your mom on your way home from Massage Envy that night?
I normally tell her that I'm leaving, so probably yes.
And so what do you see when you get home? Describe to the jury what you see in the house when you got home from work.
I get home. My mom and Lena are in the living room and they're telling me about the fire. Gannon wasn't upstairs at this point.
So who, you said they are telling you, were both Lena and your mom telling you about what happened downstairs?
Yes.
What did your mom tell you at this point when you get home?
She told me that the candle was knocked over. She thinks that he was playing on his Nintendo when he wasn't supposed to be, so that maybe that's how he knocked it over. That after the fire, they ran outside and she called her fireman friend and asked if the fumes in the house were okay for us to go back inside, and they said yes. And she said that when they were in the street, Gannon was screaming that he hates his life and screaming different things.
What did you think about that last part your mother just told you about Gannon's life?
I didn't think that the candle thing was a big deal, so it was just still so confusing.
Was your mother concerned about Albert finding out about this and being upset about it?
Normally, Albert's not the one to get mad about like stuff getting messed up, so
When she told you about Gannon going out in the street and yelling that he hates his life and things like that, did that sound like the Gannon that you knew?
no, he hasn't done that before.
You said that it was Lena and your mom upstairs when you got home on the 26th after work.
Mhm.
Do you know where Gannon was at?
Downstairs.
Did you go downstairs?
Yes.
What did you see when you went downstairs?
Him laying in his bed,
Did you go into his room?
by the doorway.
Was he asleep?
I don't remember.
Did you talk to him?
No.
Was the light on in his room?
I don't know.
Is that the last time you saw him?
Yes.
Were there any windows open in the basement when you went down there?
Yes, the windows were open. It was cold down there.
How many windows were open down in the basement?
I don't know.
It was January 26th at, you know about what time it is now when you went down to Gannon's room?
It was a little later because my mom was like, let's go tell Gannon goodnight. So that's why we went down there.
Anything unusual about your mom saying, let's go tell Gannon good night?
Not something that she normally would do.
It's not something she would normally do?
Correct.
That's surprising to you when she said that?
Yes.
Did she go down there with you when you went to Gannon's room?
Amelia, not much longer. I just wanted you guys to hear the text messages and kind of see, because we'd already gone over what Lena said, and it was kind of, in her forensic interview, and so it was kind of a refresher. But I want to skip forward a little bit here to get to when Harley is at the house with Lena. I'm just trying to figure out exactly where it is. So while you guys are listening to this, so I don't get crazy with the skipping, y'all know how I do. I'm just playing this and then looking for the part I'm wanting to find on my phone. So just a few more seconds or minutes. Give me just a sec, okay?
Yes, we both went down there.
Do you recall your mom talking to Gannon?
She said goodnight to him. She was like, good night.
Do you know whether or not Gannon responded?
I don't remember, no.
So was Gannon's bedroom window open as well?
I don't know.
Was it cold down in the basement?
Yes.
Did you sleep down in the basement that night?
No.
Where was your room within the house?
In the basement.
Would it have been Close to Gannon's room, or was it like on the other side of the basement area?
On the other side of the basement.
Was your room cold in there?
I don't remember.
Why'd you sleep upstairs?
Because it was cold downstairs. You could still smell like the fumes, and like everything in the house just felt weird.
Why did it feel weird?
Because my mom made the comments. She was like, Gannon's acting weird. I don't know what's wrong with him. She said that she was scared.
Who else slept upstairs?
Lena.
Is there anyone else in the house?
No.
So it's you, your mom, Lena, and Gannon?
Yes.
Gannon's the only one sleeping in the basement?
Yes.
It's cold down there?
Yes.
Are we talking freezing cold, or was it just colder than the upstairs?
Colder than the upstairs.
That's why you didn't sleep down there.
Yeah.
And where did you sleep? In particular, what bed?
In my parents' room.
Did you sleep with your mom in the same bed?
Yes. Sorry.
There you go. Okay, good.
Young, if you could find a reasonable breaking point in the next 5 minutes, please.
What was that about? Do you know why she's asking you to pull your car in the garage?
No. In the next message, she just said there was like a lot of people coming. So
Okay. Did you take that to think that no, she didn't want anybody to see your car out in the driveway, perhaps?
that or like so there was space in the driveway for people to park.
Okay. But where was your car parked when you had to pull it into the garage? Do you remember?
I would normally park on like the side of the street or in the driveway sometimes.
Did you pull your car into the garage when she asked you to do that?
I think so, yes.
And do you remember backing in, or did you drive forward in?
I don't remember.
It's on video. Would the video reflect that?
Yes.
All right. And did you text your mom saying that your car is filled in? If we can scroll down to January 28th at 8:54 a.m.
Yes.
You see that?
Yes.
And then she responds, Albert said to tell Lena to work on her clothes. Did you know what that was about?
I think it was just like cleaning up her room.
We can scroll down. We can keep going, please. And so your mom tells you exactly what you just said. Clean the room before everyone gets there, right?
Yes.
What was your understanding of who was coming to the house?
I know Albert was coming home. There was different like army people that were coming. I know some like family flew in, so
People were coming out to look for Gannon, right?
yes.
Do you remember when your mom and Albert came back from the airport?
Yes.
Were they driving the black Tiguan?
I don't remember what car they were driving.
Do you remember your mom renting a car?
Yes.
Remember what color the car was?
No.
Remember what brand the car was?
No.
Did you think that was unusual that your mom left in the black Tiguan and came back in a rental car?
I was told that they were going to be driving, searching for him, so she didn't want to put miles on her car. And Albert's truck like takes a lot of gas.
Who told you that?
My mom.
So did you ask her about it, or did she just volunteer that to you?
I don't remember.
Okay.
We're getting there, y'all. I promise. I just don't want to skip forward too much because I'm horrible at the skipping.
Were people from the media trying to contact you on January 28th in the morning hours?
Here we go. This is where we want to be.
I don't know if they contacted me. I did remember like news reporters coming.
Do you remember telling your mother that the news reporters, are particularly KKTV, is contacting us?
Mhm.
Do you remember telling your mom that on the morning of January 28th?
Yes, I think like she used my Facebook, so I think that's how they messaged me on Facebook.
During this time frame, are you also having FaceTime conversations and phone conversations with your mom as well as text messaging?
I don't know. I don't think so.
If you were, would that be reflected in the cell phone records?
Yes.
You talked about soldiers or Albert's coworkers coming in to help look for Gannon.
Yes.
Did they actually come by in a silver SUV?
Yes, I remember people from his unit came.
And did you talk to them? Did you let them in the house? What happened with that?
Yeah, I think I talked to them.
Were you also texting other friends and people that you knew in the neighborhood about whether or not they'd seen Gannon during this time frame?
Yes.
Let's kind of jump to the afternoon of the 28th. Do you know whether or not Albert and your mom were actually talking to detectives with the sheriff's office during this time frame?
Yes, that's what I was told.
They told you that?
I don't remember. I just remember it being mentioned.
Do you remember a time in that afternoon where your mom kind of disappeared and you didn't know where she was at, that type of thing?
Yes.
Tell the jury about that. What was going on and what vehicle was she driving? Do you remember?
I remember Albert was home and he kept calling her. And that's when the news reporter came in and filmed a video in our house. And something about they were asking her for like a hairbrush or toothbrush. That's why she couldn't answer or something. I don't know.
If we can scroll down, I know we're going to be jumping a lot, but down to 4:26 p.m. on January 28th. Are you there, Miss Hunt, in the notebook, or we can look at the screen if you're not?
Yes.
So at 4:26 p.m. on the 28th, you're texting her, "Where did you go?" You remember that?
Yes.
How did she respond? If we can scroll down. You see that where it says, "I will text you in 10 minutes"?
Yes.
Do you know where she was at when she's texting you at this time?
No.
Do you know if she's in the rental car or what vehicle she's in as she's gone during this time frame?
I do not know.
And then you respond with looks like a question mark. Or you said, I'm sorry.
Yes.
What did you mean by that?
Because I was confused when she said, I'll text you in 10 minutes.
And then if we scroll down, you ask, where's Lena?
Yes.
Did you know where Lena was at?
Yes. I said, never mind, she's here.
Okay. And she responds, and we keep scrolling, she was on her bed at 4:29 p.m.
Yes.
And then we scroll down more. She says, don't open for anyone.
Yes.
What's going on here? Why is she telling you not to open the door for anyone? Do you know?
I do not know. I just feel like there was like a bunch of like stories or like reasons why. It's never like clear why I couldn't open the door.
At this point in time, on January 28th at 4:30 p.m., Had you heard of different versions of events of what happened to Gannon at this point?
Yes.
What version of events did you hear? Let me ask you, did you hear this from your mother?
Yes.
What did she tell you happened to Gannon at this time?
I had heard first that he was at a friend's house, and then he was missing, and then that he must have been with his friend's older brother. And then that's when she kept saying to me, like, after all that, she was just like, they're trying to frame me, and people are thinking it's me.
Who is she referring to? Did she tell you when they say they are trying to frame me?
People in the groups. Remember her mentioning like the detectives were being weird, asking weird questions of her.
At this point in time, did you ever say, Mom, they just want to find Gannon. We're trying to find Gannon.
Right?
Did you ever say that to her?
Yes.
How did she respond to that?
I don't remember.
Did you?
All right, that's all for that. Okay, so as we heard from the testimony there, sorry that it took me so long to find the exact right spot. Harley was told by her mom not to open the door. So, and at the same time, she's being told by her mom that she's being set up, that people are blaming her. And the truth is that there was quite a bit of activity going on social media, particularly in the Facebook groups. So I kind of just wanted to point that out to you guys. So just for you guys to have some context about what exactly was going on, who was running the show, and who was telling Harley not to speak or not to open the door. And that was Letecia. So the next thing we're going to read about as soon as I can get it is we're going to talk about when Harley gets to the hospital. Okay, so what's happened at this point is Letecia has been to the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, right? This is when she has that the interview when she tells them about Eduardo and all of that, right? And so she's been they took her phone. So, but they took her to the hospital. They're waiting on a warrant. They were going to try to get her to. They actually did get a. Oh my gosh! Thank you so much. I missed this. Sorry. Hold on a second, because I don't like to leave the chat out. Nadie, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships, and congratulations to anybody who got it. And thank you, sexy wild thing, Carol freaking Claus. I appreciate that. That's very generous of both of you. Thank you both so much. Okay. So now we're into the day, the 28th, late, right? Letecia, right? Is it the 28th? Let me just look really quick because I don't want to make a mistake. Hold on a second. This is on the 29th. My bad. So on the 29th, which is obviously the day after the 28th, this is when Letecia says the story about Eduardo, and they want to take her to the hospital to get a SANE exam. They actually did get a judge to sign a warrant to require her to have a SANE exam. And as they were about to go serve that warrant at the hospital, the judge says, no, wait a minute. I'm not sure that I actually have the authority to do that. So the warrant is rewritten And this is for like non-invasive. So not a sane exam, but like clipping her nails, scraping underneath the fingernails and photographing her, but none of her, none of her private areas can be examined or photographed. Okay. So that's what's happening. Okay. So, hold on a second. All right. Let me add this to the stream really quick because I just want to get to the right spot. Sorry, you guys. Hey, Aries Pyork. Thank you. And hey to everybody who's come in. I'm sorry. I'm doing 11 billion different screens. And so it's kind of hard for me, but I'm going to pause every so often so I can address the chat because, obviously. All right. So around this same time, a nurse from another part of the hospital came into CU4 and stated Stauch's daughter had come to the hospital and wanted to see Stauch. The nurse stated the daughter, Harley, could not come into CU regardless of any other issues. I understood it was hospital policy not to allow visitors into this secure area. However, the hospital told Stauch this, and suddenly Stauch was wanting to leave the hospital. It was now approximately 1834 hours. As far as I knew, the results of Stauch's blood work had not come back and she had undergone no further testing. I made a mental note that suddenly Stauch seemed to no longer be concerned with, nor was she complaining about any medical issues. She just wanted to leave. So remember, she's had to go to the hospital. They wanted her at the hospital, right, to get an exam, right? And then she didn't want to do that, and she didn't want to give up her phone, and she needed to take a shower and all the things, right? And then all of a sudden, right, she has the big panic attack, and the ambulance arrives and the paramedics. Remember all that. This is at the hospital after that. Oh, thank you so much, AJ. I appreciate that. It's very generous of you. Thank you. So yes, that's what's taking place at this point. Okay. Now, I want to read you guys. They went to Massage Envy and they interviewed her coworkers. And I just thought it was interesting to hear what her coworkers say because I'm going to read it to you and then we're going to talk about this part. Okay. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. I must have. Oh, no. I lied. This is about Marshalls. Remember Marshalls? This is when they take Harley's Jetta and Letecia throws the keys in the parking lot. Okay, let's read about this. All right. Sorry, you guys, I skipped ahead in my notes. I read them wrong. My bad. All right. On Thursday, January 30th, 2020, at approximately 1000 hours, that doesn't sound right. Detective Glenn Jr. of the El Paso County Sheriff's Office Investigations Division conducted follow-up in reference to this case. I was informed by Detective Sergeant Jacob A. Abdinshan. There were detectives who were drafting a search warrant for a vehicle associated with this case, a white 2019 Volkswagen Jetta bearing Colorado license plate, blah, 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 and a cellular phone owned by Harley. Detective Sergeant A indicated the vehicle and the phone were both located at 10082 Intrepid Way in the Lorson Ranch subdivision of unincorporated, blah, blah, and that Harley and Letecia Stauch were also at that address. I was tasked with assisting the Colorado Police Department Metro VNI unit with the surveillance operation of the Jetta and of Letecia Stauch and Harley until the search warrant was signed and could be executed. Shortly after my arrival to the Lorson Ranch neighborhood, Letecia and Harley were spotted by other detectives as they exited the Intrepid Way residence entered the Jetta while carrying several bags that appeared to have been packed for light travel. One of the other detectives stated over the radio, Harley was driving the Jetta while Letecia was in the front passenger seat. Harley drove the Jetta to the downtown area where it was parked for several minutes before heading north toward the area of North Academy Boulevard at East Woodman Road. At approximately 14:15 hours, the Jetta parked in the Marshall's parking lot located at 1760 East Woodman Road, and Harley and Letecia were seen entering the Marshall store. Undercover detectives entered the store to maintain visual surveillance on Letecia and Harley while I waited in the parking lot. At this time, I was informed by Detective Sergeant A. The search warrant had been signed and we needed to seize the Jetta and Harley's cell phone. After a few minutes, Letecia exited the store and detectives contacted her to prevent her from entering the Jetta. Upon being approached by Sergeant Christopher Ganstein, Letecia threw the Jetta's keys in the air and fled northeast across the parking lot on foot. As detectives detained Letecia, I entered the Marshall store and noticed Harley was still, let me make that bigger, completing a transaction at a cash register. Harley was holding her phone in her right hand during the transaction. I approached Harley while wearing a clearly marked over vest indicating I was a peace officer and seized the phone from her hand. I told Harley a court order had been issued for the seizure of her phone. Harley strengthened her grip on the phone and told me she wanted to see the warrant. I pulled the phone out of Harley's hand and placed her in handcuffs, which were checked for tightness and double locked. Based on Letecia's actions, I detained Harley in the back of my vehicle until Detective Peter Vigil could arrive on scene to serve a copy of the search warrant to Letecia and Harley. As I escorted Harley outside the Marshall store, we walked past Letecia, who yelled out to Harley instructions, telling her to remember what Letecia said about not saying anything and to ask for a lawyer. Upon Detective Vigil's arrival, he served Letecia with the search warrant. At that point, I removed Harley's handcuffs and released her to Letecia. Detective Vigil took possession of Harley's telephone, and Detective Farrell secured and impounded the Jetta. I feel like I'm saying Detective Farrell's name wrong. Maybe it's Farrell. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, Detective Farrell or Farrell. Okay, so that's the scene at Marshall's. Okay. All right. Now we're going to go to page. All right. Right? No. 64. Thank you guys for being patient. Okay, now this is the stuff with massage envy. Okay. So what do you guys think so far of everything with Harley at the Marshall store? I was kind of yeah, it was interesting. Okay, so on 1/31/20, Detective Mike Boggs of the El Paso County Sheriff's Office Investigation Division responded to Massage Envy located at 3254 Cinema Point at approximately 10:25 a.m. This is the most difficult placement of a stamp or a watermark, is because it's not really a stamp. While I was en route, I called Massage Envy. A female verbally identified herself as, let me make it bigger and see if I can see it better. It looks like, I don't know, answered the phone. I asked if Harley was working today. I was told Harley was not working and she had quit. I asked to speak to the manager. I was told the manager was not there. Janine, I'm sorry. I explained to Janine that I was en route to the business and I would contact her when I arrived. At approximately 10:34 a.m., I arrived at Massage Envy. I contacted Brinley Birchinall, who was one of the 3 ladies working the front reception desk. I asked to speak to Janine. I was told she was currently assisting a customer and was not available. I asked if there was a manager or someone in charge who I could talk to. Elizabeth Morrison, who is the regional office manager for Massage Envy, was currently in the lobby. I contacted Miss Morrison and asked if I could speak to her in private. Miss Morrison and I went to an office. I explained to her why I was there and that I needed to speak to the employees who work with Harley. And I also asked if she could provide me with a copy of Harley's time card from Sunday, January 26th and Thursday, January 30th, 2020. Miss Morrison printed off a copy of it, which is included. The time card shows Harley worked on the following dates, which includes time clocked in, time clocked out, and the amount of time used for breaks during that day. So on the 26th of January, clocked in at 3:15, clocked in at 10:18. Total time shown for breaks 32 minutes and 44 seconds. On Monday, she clocked in at 8:30 a.m., clocked in, I think they mean out, but whatever. That clocked in again at 4:15 p.m. Total time shown for breaks 24 minutes and 68 seconds. Tuesday, January 28th. Harley did not work this day. Wednesday, January 29th. Clocked in at 10:01 a.m., clocked out at 5:30 p.m. Total time shown for breaks 30 minutes 40 seconds. Ms. Morrison says she goes back and forth between 3 clinics, is not always at the location as on Cinema Point, but would assist me with interviewing coworkers. I asked Ms. Morrison if she knew why Harley had quit. She said on Thursday, January 30th, Harley was scheduled to work for another employee, but did not show up. Ms. Morrison said sometime between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m., Harley had sent a text message to another manager identified as Jordan Goddard, spelling unknown, indicating she was not coming back to work. Ms. Morrison does not know exactly what was in the text message which Ms. Goddard had received. According to Ms. Morrison, Ms. Goddard was not working today. Ms. Morrison said Harley was a sales associate who worked the front desk at Massage Envy. There are 8 employees, to include Harley, who work the front desk reception area. The other employees were identified as Beth, not at work, Brinley, working, Cosette, not at work, somebody not at work, Janine Sanchez, working, Kaylee Wilson, working. Miss Morrison said Harley has only been working there for about 3 to 4 months, but was not exactly certain how long. I asked Miss Morrison if she could describe Harley's personality to me. Miss Morrison described Harley as quiet, reserved, kind, caring, sweet, and bubbly girl. She does not interact with Harley that much at work and not at all after work. She said on Wednesday, Harley was sad and not bubbly like she normally is. Miss Morrison said the front desk personnel are not normally allowed to have their cell phones with them while working the front desk, but Harley was allowed to have her cell phone due to the situation regarding her stepbrother's disappearance. Miss Morrison mentioned Harley is planning to join the Air Force because of her stepdad. She does not know what color of vehicle Harley drives. This was all the information Miss Morrison could provide. Okay, let me check on you guys in the chat. Nadie, it's very interesting that you bring up Maria Sanchez, because as I was reading this today, that is the exact thought that crossed my mind. Did Letecia pick Maria Sanchez, or Sanchez? Sanchez is how you say it, but Sanchez is how Letecia says it. Did she pick that name because of Janine Sanchez? Okay. So Jennifer Martinez, while talking to Miss Morrison, another employee who identified herself as Jennifer, came into the office. I asked Miss Martinez if she knew Harley. She said she does, but she does not have a lot of interaction with Harley because Miss Martinez supervises the employees in the therapy area of the business, which is in the back half of the business. She did say on Wednesday, Harley was not her normal bubbly self. She said Harley was upset because of the situation regarding her stepbrother's disappearance. This is all the information Miss Martinez could provide. Kaylee Wilson. I contacted Kaylee, who is one of the ladies working at the front desk reception. I explained to Miss Wilson why I was contacting her. Miss Wilson is a front desk associate and has been working there since December 2019. Miss Wilson just described Harley as bubbly, talkative, nice, sincere, and a caring person. Miss Wilson said she considers her relationship with Harley as more of an acquaintance. I asked Miss Wilson how Harley had been acting since Sunday. Miss Wilson could not remember if she worked Sunday, January 26, 2020. Therefore, she could not remember if she worked with Harley on that day. She said she does not recall seeing Harley. Miss Wilson did not work on Monday, the 27th, because of an appointment. The last time Miss Wilson worked with Harley was Wednesday, January 29th. She said Harley was not herself. She was sad, not bubbly, and she did not really want to talk because of the situation with her missing brother. Miss Wilson said she did not press the issue, and I left it at that. At an unknown time during their work shift, Miss Wilson believes Harley got and phone call. Harley left the front desk area and went into an office to take the call. She does not know what it was about. I asked Miss Wilson if Harley talked about her family at all. Miss Wilson said Harley does not talk about her family much. Harley told her she was an only child until her mom remarried, and now Harley has a stepbrother and stepsister. Miss Wilson said Harley talks about her boyfriend, Jace, a lot, but it is in the context of the typical boyfriend-girlfriend stuff. I asked her if she could tell me what she knew about Jace. She said she does not know him or anything about him. I asked Miss Wilson if she could tell me what kind of vehicle and color of vehicle Harley drives. Miss Wilson did not know what kind of vehicle Harley drives or the color of it. This is all the information she could provide at this time. Brinley. I contacted Brinley, who is one of the ladies working the front desk. I explained to Miss Birchinall why I was contacting her. Miss Birchinall said she is the lead shift manager. She works with Harley a couple of times a week. She considers Harley a friend and they get along well, but they do not hang out together after work. She described Harley as sweet, professional, and always smiling. I asked Miss Birchinall how Harley has been acting since Sunday. Miss Birchinall said on Tuesday, January 28th at about 10:10 a.m., there was a group text which was sent out by Harley regarding her missing stepbrother and asking her coworkers to be on the lookout for her stepbrother. I asked Miss Birchinall if I could see the group text message she received. Miss Birchinall got her phone and showed me the group text message which she received. I asked Ms. Birchinall if I could take some photos of the text message. She said yes, using my office issued cell phone. I took 3 photos regarding the group message and replies. The photos will be downloaded at a later time. Ms. Birchinall last worked with Harley Wednesday, January 28th. She said when Harley came into work, they hugged each other. Harley seemed to be holding it together. During her work shift, Harley kept checking her phone, go to the office and cry. Harley was also crying at the front desk. Miss Birchinall said Harley was upset over something her mom flights for her grandparents and did not know if they could afford the flights. Harley was also worried about getting her dog at the house. At one point, Harley mentioned something about a candlelight vigil, and she did not think she was going to go to it because of her stepdad. Harley was sent home early. According to Miss Birchinall, Harley did not talk about her family. Miss Birchinall knew Harley had siblings, but she never talked about them. Occasionally, Harley would talk about her mom and stepdad because her mom was pushing her to go to school and about her future. When I asked Miss Birchnall if she knew anything about Harley's boyfriend, she said she knew Harley had one but did not know his name. I also asked I think it's if she knew what kind and color of vehicle Harley drove. Miss Birchnall said she did not know what kind of vehicle, but she said it was a smaller dark color vehicle. This is all the information she could provide at this time. Janine. Okay. I contacted Janine Sanchez, who is one of the ladies working the front desk reception. Let's check on you guys really quick before we go there. Okay, you guys seem to be doing okay. All right. All right. I contacted Janine Sanchez, who was one of the ladies working the front desk reception. I explained it to Miss Wilson why it was contacting her. Miss Sanchez said she is a front desk sales associate and shift lead. She's not been working at massage. She has been working, I can't even read, has been working at Massage Envy since November 2018. I asked her how she would consider her relationship with Harley. Miss Sanchez said she would consider it as co-workers. She said she does not hang out with Harley after work. Harley has gone to a couple of Bible studies with Miss Sanchez in the past, but that's about it. Miss Sanchez described Harley as social, very positive, bubbly, kind, and professional. Miss Sanchez said Harley is going into the Air Force and she may start her training in March. I asked Miss Sanchez if she communicates with Harley via text or anything like that. She said they really do not text each other much, but they do share funny videos with each other using the app TikTok. Ms. Sanchez said while she was at work Monday night, she received a text from Harley asking her to look out for her brother who is missing. Ms. Sanchez said the only day she worked with Harley this week was Wednesday, January 29th, 2019. That can't be right. 2020. Oh, okay. This is the last time she worked with Harley. She said Harley was crying Wednesday morning at work. She said Harley asked her if her and her mother could stay the night at her Miss Sanchez's house, which Miss Sanchez agreed to. She also said after work she went with Harley to pick up her mom who was at the hospital. Miss Sanchez said Harley's mom was upset because the hospital held her. I asked how Harley was acting. Miss Sanchez said Harley was acting timid and overwhelmed. After picking up Harley's mom from the hospital, they went to Miss Sanchez's residence located at 10082 Intrepid Way. Harley and her mother stayed the night at Miss Sanchez's house because they could not go back to their home due to a search being done. I asked Miss Sanchez if anyone else was at her house. She said her two roommates were at the house and identified them as Alicia Singleton and Ray Vincent Ganoy. I asked Miss Sanchez why Harley had quit her job. Miss Sanchez said she did not know why Harley quit. On Thursday, January 30th, Miss Sanchez said she received a text from Harley saying she, Miss Sanchez, was going to be closing with the other. Oh boy, these stamps. I can't. A different Harley. When Miss Sanchez arrived, that's not helping, arrived at work at 3:00 p.m., she was told Harley had quit. Miss Sanchez said she had not heard from Harley since. She said this is not normal, but she said Harley may be feeling overwhelmed because of the situation with her stepbrother. I asked Miss Sanchez if I could look at the string of messages she had received from Harley. Miss Sanchez said I could. She got her phone, opened it up, and showed me the string of text messages. I asked Miss Sanchez if I could take some photographs of the text messages. She said yes and hand the phone to me. and he took the photographs, 8 photographs, which would be downloaded at another time. I asked Ms. Sanchez if Harley talked about her family. Ms. Sanchez said she did not even know Harley had a stepbrother or stepsister until she got the group text from Harley about her missing stepbrother. She said Harley complains that her parents are strict, especially when it comes to Harley going out with her boyfriend Jace. Ms. Sanchez did not know much about Jace other than Harley met him while going to school at Pikes Peak Community College last fall. I asked Ms. Sanchez if she knew what kind of vehicle Harley drove and the color. She did not know what kind of car it was other than it was a white sedan. This is all the information she could provide. I gave her my business card. All right. So Janine, so when Letecia bounced from the hospital, right? It was Janine Sanchez and Harley that go and pick up Letecia. And there's going to be more from Janine, but it's coming later. So, yes. Oh, well, thank you, Buttercup. I appreciate that. That's very nice. I hesitate to read this, but I am going to because it's out there. I asked Miss Morrison to the video. Oh wait, after speaking with the employees who work closely with Harley, I contacted Miss Morrison again to see when the other employees who work with Harley would be working. Miss Morrison said the manager Jordan was currently out of the state. It's just the schedule. I asked Miss Morrison if the video surveillance camera in the lobbies worked and if they were recording. Miss Morrison said the video surveillance camera system had not worked in 6 months ever since the company Atticus took over. After speaking with Miss Morrison, I left and returned to the El Paso County Sheriff's Office. Okay. Let's see, 4:05 they arrived back at Massage Envy and they interview Cosette Ormond. I contacted Miss Ormond, who was working the front reception desk. Miss Ormond and I went to an office and I explained to her why I was contacting her. Miss Ormond is a shift lead for how many shift leads does this place have for front desk employees? She said she does not know Harley very well. She does not do anything with Harley outside of work, and she does not communicate with her outside of work. She described Harley as friendly, sweet, and professional. She knows Harley has a boyfriend, but does not know his name or anything about him. According to Harley, her relationship with Jace is wishy-washy. Miss Ormond does not know what kind of car Harley drives or the color. Miss Ormond said she worked with Harley on Sunday, January 26, 2020, and on Monday, January 27th, 2020. I asked her to describe how Harley was acting on those 2 days. She said on Sunday, Harley seemed to be fine and acting normally. At an unknown time toward the end of the evening, Harley received a text message from her mom, which made Harley cry. The text message was in reference to a fire involving a candle that had been knocked over and burned the carpet. Harley's mom said a blanket had been thrown on something, but Harley was worried that her dog had been burned. Miss Ormond thought Harley had said her stepbrother was there. Harley was not sure if her dog or her stepbrother had been burned. Harley left the front desk and went into an office. When she came back, she said everything was fine. Her dog was fine. Her stepbrother was fine, and the house was fine. Harley was iffy about the details, but mentioned her mom had come downstairs and discovered the fire. Miss Ormond thinks this may have happened in the basement, but she was not sure what Harley meant by downstairs since it was never clarified. Harley said her mother was worried that Harley's stepdad was going to be upset about the damage. Miss Ormond said Harley showed her a photo of the burned carpet. She said there was a blanket around a burned area. She does not know how big the burned area was, but based on what she saw in the photograph, she estimated it was no bigger than 12 inches in circumference. As for Monday, Harley came into work and said everything was okay and seemed to be acting normally. She knew Harley had quit and did not come into work on Thursday, January 30th, 2020. She believes this was because of the situation with her missing stepbrother and going off to military training. This is all the information she could provide. Okay. All right. Now we're going to scroll more. I will say this. This is the only opinion I'm going to give. I found it very interesting that there seems to be sort of a common theme going on in this. This family seems to be very insular. Like Gannon had one, he knew kids at school and kids at school knew him, right? And then there were the kids that knew him from school and they lived in the same neighborhood and they rode the bus. But beyond that, they didn't really know Gannon, right? He had his one good friend, right? And then you have Harley here who is working with a bunch of people, but nobody knows anything about her. I just found that to be interesting. I just found it to be interesting that that nobody really knows them. Okay. I don't know why. Did I put the right? Oh, that's why, because I don't know how to type. I was like, why am I looking at this? That's not right. Okay. This is the interview that takes place over at Janine Sanchez's house. Okay. While, let's see. While standing at 10082 Intrepid Way, I observed a camera pointing directly at the driveway coming from 10090 Intrepid Way. Detective B and I approached the house to speak with the residents. The homeowner identified himself as Mr. Jonathan Hainsworth. Mr. Hainsworth gave Detective B his contact information and stated he would be happy to provide us with the video footage from his Ring cameras. I contacted Detective Hare and had him follow up. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, so now here we are. They got Ring camera footage from 10166 Declaration Drive, which is the corner across from 10082 Intrepid Way. Okay, so they have that Ring footage. All right, now Janine. Miss Sanchez was called by both Detective B and I, but both times it went straight to voicemail. Detective B and I thought Janine might be at work since it appeared to be off. Detective B and I responded to Massage Envy and asked if Janine was working. We learned that she was not working, but were provided with contact information from her. The phone number was the same number provided by Detective Boggs and continued to go straight to voicemail. Detective B and I decided to return to the home. While we were on the way, I received a phone call from Miss Sanchez. I asked her if she was at her home and available to talk to us. Miss Sanchez stated she was at home and she was willing to talk to us. Miss Sanchez was completely cooperative, can't even talk, with the interview and explained that she spoke with Detective Boggs earlier in the week. Miss Sanchez stated she had never met Miss Stauch before the night she stayed over. Miss Sanchez said she knew Harley and they sometimes carpooled to Bible study, but Harley had never been inside the home. Miss Sanchez explained that Harley contacted her about spending the night and she agreed. Harley and Miss Sanchez went to the hospital to pick up Miss Stauch. While all three of them were in the car, Harley texted Miss Sanchez asking if her mother could stay as well. Miss Sanchez found this odd that she didn't ask out loud, but agreed, and they both stayed in the main level dining area. Miss Sanchez let us look in the garage and common areas. We did not see anything of note. Miss Sanchez said her roommates retrieved their Miss Sanchez and her roommates retrieved their carpet cleaner and stated they use it frequently and did not believe Harley or Miss Stauch borrowed it. I asked if anyone gave Miss Stauch or Harley a key or if they had any spare keys. Miss Sanchez stated they were never given a key. I concluded our interview and Detective B and I left the house. Approximately 10 minutes after we left the house, I received a phone call from Miss Sanchez. One of the roommates informed Miss Sanchez that there had been a spare key in a bowl located near the entranceway. When they went to check and make sure it was still there, they noticed it was missing. Detective B and I returned to the address. Miss Sanchez stated that nobody in the house remembered seeing the key in the last week. Ms. Sanchez and her roommate stated they were freaked out by their basement because the key was missing and no one ever went down there. Ms. Sanchez asked if we would be willing to check it for them. We agreed but did not find anything of note in the basement. As we were leaving, we asked if they would allow us to take the carpet cleaner for possible testing in the lab. Ms. Sanchez agreed and produced a second handheld carpet cleaner for us to take as well. Okay. Now, okay. On February, these are some screenshots of conversations between Harley and her mom. On February 4th, 2020, Detective Bowman, reviewed data collected from Harley's iPhone. A PDF file was created detailing possible screenshots that were stored in the phone. Of particular interest was a screenshot of a conversation with mom. In this screenshot, which was dated January 29th, 2020 at 8:08:43. Oh my gosh, Jen, come on, get it together. 08:43 hours, the conversation depicted is as follows. Mom, yes, OMG. Can you read? He must have knocked it over while asleep, unless he was awake and lied. But he acted sorry for sure. Gannon, mom, my arm is burnt jumping on him. Gannon, OMG, the fire was on Gannon. Mom, no, the cover was that he was wrapped in. I jumped on him though, because he had that cover around him. All right. This is more. A PDF file was created detailing the activity from 17:43 hours on September 25th, 2019 to 10:37 hours on January 30th, 2020 during this conversation with beginning on January 27th at 19:02 hours. They are discussing to be discussed, and her family members states her mother would not harm Gannon and accuses of trying to manipulate and control her. Probably Al. I don't know. I have nothing further at this time. I need to go back and look at that one again. I'm sorry, you guys. This is about Kobe Bryant. Retrieve from an iPhone, a PDF. So this is, I think, Harley's phone, and Amy Lowry states, tell your mom to be mindful whom she talks to. Someone is posting her private conversations on social media. Amy Lowry states, and I don't want nothing to be misconstrued and used against her, and she needs to consult with an attorney first thing in the morning. Harley states, OMG, then mom doesn't have her phone, then she's not contacting anyone, then if anyone reaches out to you, and say that. Amy Lowry states definitely, but she needs to continue to contact an attorney in the morning. Okay, this is more from Harley's phone. An additional PDF file was created containing a message string on the phone with Dad. This file appears to contain conversations between Gannon's phone and his father's phone. Of note in this conversation is a string beginning January 27th at 08:27 hours, in which the user of Gannon's phone describes dropping a candle, burning part of the floor, and complains that his tummy hurts. At 08:33 hours, he asks if the family has bath salts, adding that a friend said they could play if he had some. At 09:12 hours, he indicates his friend's brother has a car for a sleepover on Friday. At 09:15 hours, he states, "We are going to breakfast." At 13:21 hours, he asks to play Zelda. At 15:35 hours, Dad says, "Hey, buddy," but there's no response. At 18:53 hours, Dad asks, "Where are you?" The PDF is attached to this report. Please see this file for additional details. A message string with Gannon's sister. Of note in this conversation is a string starting on January 27th at 10:37 hours, in which the user of Gannon's phone states, "Tisha left phone at home. If you need her, text me." At 13:27 hours, the user of Gannon's phone states, "Oh, you okay? Miss you." At 13:24 hours, the user of Gannon's sister replies, "Yes, miss you too." I think that's it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now I need. So, this is the results of another search done on Gannon's bedroom, but also Harley's bedroom. Hold on, let me find it. I think it's this one, right? Where'd it go? All right, the bedroom belonging to Harley was processed using the Blue Star reagent. No presumptive positive reactions occurred in the main area of the bedroom. A mattress pad was located on the bed in the room. The mattress pad appeared to have a small reddish colored stain located on it. Due to the stain, this item was collected by the crime lab for further testing. It was determined to be menstrual blood. We learned that at trial. Within the closet of the bedroom, a laundry basket with a bedding sheet was located inside. With a bedding sheet was located inside it was found. The sheet did show possible presumptive positive reaction to the Blue Star reagent when tested. This sheet was collected by the Metro Crime Lab for further testing. So I wish they would have described that better, but that's the sheet that was found in Harley's laundry basket, in a laundry basket in Harley's bedroom. Okay. We're almost done, you guys. You've been great listening through all of this. Let me check on you and see how everybody's doing. You're good? Okay, thank you, Nay. I needed a minute not to not talk. Okay, let's see. This is another one. Okay, this is more of Miss Sanchez here. At approximately, this is on February 6th, 2020. At approximately 3:39 p.m., I called the Miss Sanchez, who answered the phone. I identified myself and explained to her I was calling her back regarding her telephone message she left me on 131, indicating she had additional information. Ms. Sanchez said she had spoken to 2 other detectives, but she wanted to let me know about some odd things that occurred while she was with Harley after they picked up Harley's mom at the hospital. Ms. Sanchez said, this was on Wednesday, 1/29/20, and the same night, Harley and her mother spent the night at Miss Sanchez's house. Miss Sanchez said when they left the hospital, she was in the front passenger seat. Harley was driving, and Harley's mother was in the rear passenger area of the vehicle. Miss Sanchez said Harley was quieter than she normally is. Harley's mother apologized for them having to stay at her house. Miss Sanchez said Harley's mother was acting weird. Harley's mother made the comment, quote, "I hope you do not think we are a bunch of murderers." No, just you, Letecia. Sorry, I said I wouldn't put any opinions in. That was very, very wrong of me. I apologize. While they were driving to Miss Sanchez's residence, Harley's mother asked Harley for her cell phone. Harley gave the cell phone to her mother. Harley's mother was sending texts to Harley's stepdad and posing as Harley. When I asked what the text message consisted of, Miss Sanchez said she did not know. I asked how she knew Harley's mother was sending out text messages and posing as Harley. Again, Miss Sanchez said Harley was driving and Miss Sanchez was sitting next to her when Miss Sanchez received a text from Harley's cell phone. Miss Sanchez said the text message was asking her if they could spend the night. Miss Sanchez said she did not see Harley use her cell phone. Miss Sanchez said this is odd and could not understand why Harley would have to send a text message when all Harley had to do was ask since they were sitting next to each other in the car. Miss Sanchez said Harley's mother said she was turning off the location services on Harley's cell phone because she had to. Harley's mother then passed the cell phone back to Harley. While at the hospital, Harley's mother had mentioned evidence had been found at the house. Miss Sanchez also remembered Harley mentioning the fire had gone through the carpet and Harley could see cement underneath. Harley also said her mother had cut out the carpet and replaced it so Harley's stepfather would not find out. This is all the information Miss Sanchez said she had at the time. I have no further information at this time. Okay. Okay, hold on. All right, we're there. Make sure there's nothing else I wanted to, okay. Okay, now we're going to the Dollar Tree and the footage that they reviewed. Oh, thank you, Mrs. O, for being a member for 5 months. Good to see you, babe. Okay. During the original interviews with family members to the case, it was noted on 1/28/2020 at approximately 1700 hours, Harley and Lena were at the local Dollar Tree. There are several cameras inside of this business that are mounted. Okay, so this is what happened. This is what they got from the footage. At 55 seconds into this video, Harley and Lena are seen walking into the store. Harley has a blue sweater, black pants, and white shoes on. Lena is seen wearing jean shoes and a jacket. It's unknown what vehicle they were in on this day. Camera footage does not show the parking lot where they came from. Harley and Lena go out of view of this camera at 5:10 minutes. Lena is seen walking back up to the front, waving to someone grabbing a handheld basket. At 15:26 minutes, Harley and Lena are seen leaving the store. It doesn't say what they, hold on. So they were there at the dollar store. That's what I wanted to point out. Hey, Candy Cane, thank you for being a member for 4 months. I appreciate that. Oh, wait, hold on. I think there is more I wanted to say on this page. See, as you can see, I read through this whole thing. That's how come I know we're already at page 553, y'all. All right, this is about Jace. Okay, that was interviewed on Sunday. This is Harley's boyfriend at the time. Okay, on February 16th. Mr. Morin was interviewed by Detective Sapp at the FBI building in downtown Colorado Springs. I was present during the interview. Mr. Morin told Detective Sapp he was unsure where Harley currently was, but believed she was in North Carolina due to a photo of a sunset he had received from her. Mr. Morin said he has not asked her where she was and is trying to avoid being involved in the case. Mr. Morin did not know what happened to Gannon or where he might be. He also believed Harley did not know anything regarding this case. Harley believed they had to leave Colorado due to people threatening them on social media. During the interview, Mr. Morin handed Detective Sapp his cell phone and allowed for him to look through it. Mr. Sapp will complete a more detailed interview. Hey, get down. You've lost your mind. Hold on, you guys. Sorry. Okay. Oh, okay. Now we're to the arrest. This is the day that they arrested Letecia in North Carolina, okay? Or South Carolina. Or was it North Carolina? Hold on a second. All right. On 3/2/20, Mark Riley, Detective Jessica Bethel. At 9:00 a.m., we arrived at the Myrtle Beach office. Why is this doing this? Hold on a second. Sorry, you guys. Alice jumped up on my computer and hit something. I don't know what she clicked. So hold on, let me figure it out so I can fix it. But it's covering where I need to be reading. You're making me not look very professional, Alice, the cat. Okay, after briefing of the upcoming operation to arrest Letecia Stauch, Detective Bethel and I accompanied FBI Special Agent Andrew Cohen and Jonathan Grusing to the Coastal Grand Mall. This is the location where Miss Stauch's daughter, Harley, had a scheduled meeting with the United States Air Force recruiter. Around 10 a.m., Miss Stauch arrived in the parking lot of the mall and dropped Harley off near the entrance to the recruiting office. After dropping Harley off, Miss Stauch drove around the outer portions of the parking lot before parking. Once Miss Stauch's vehicle was parked, oh my gosh. Myrtle Beach Police Department SWAT members effected the arrest of Miss Stauch. She was transported to the Myrtle Beach Police Department Annex. I accompanied Special Agent Cohen to the recruiting office to interview Harley. This interview was video recorded by Special Agent Cohen and audio recorded by me. My audio recording was later placed on a CD and entered in the El Paso County Sheriff's Office evidence facility. This interview will be documented in a future supplement. After the interview was completed with Harley, she was taken to the Myrtle Beach Police Department. See, I knew it was South Carolina. She arrived at approximately 11 a.m. and was accompanied by a worker from the South Carolina Department of Social Services. After arriving at the Myrtle Beach Department, Harley signed a search waiver for her cell phone. Special Agent Cohen and I then responded to 108 to interview Miss Stauch. She was identified as Deetra Moss. I'm not sure what this is about. Oh, this is where they were staying. That's right. All right, hold on, because there is a thing. Where is it? $7:44, I think. Hold on. Let me just make sure. Yeah, this is all Facebook and stuff that doesn't really have anything. Not pertaining to Harley anyway. Okay. After the arrest of Letecia Stauch in Myrtle Beach, Agent Andrew Cohen, we responded to the recruiting office to speak with Ms. Hunt in regard to any information she may have about Gannon's disappearance. Special Agent Cohen conducted the majority of the interview. The following is a synopsis of the interview and is not a word-for-word transcription. Upon entering the recruiting office, Harley was speaking to a recruiter. The recruiting staff had been made aware of what was happening and agreed to let us speak with Harley in their office. S.A. Cohen interrupted their conversation and told Harley we needed to speak with her. Mr. Special Agent Cohen explained to Harley she was not in trouble or under arrest. He explained the door was open and she could leave at any time. Special Agent Cohen explained that her mother, Letecia, had just been arrested in the parking lot. He asked for her date of birth. She told him, and a good phone number for her is, and her mailing address. She is currently staying with a friend in Myrtle Beach. Special Agent Cohen asks if she is surprised her mother has been arrested, and she replies, yeah. She tells him she doesn't know why she would be arrested. Special Agent Cohen asks if she has a clear recollection of when Gannon went missing. She tells him yes. She confirms the last time he was seen was the 27th of January. She confirms she was at work that day. Special Agent Cohen asks her to tell him what happened when she got home from work that day. Harley tells him she came home and she and her little sister, Lena, went to the store. They were going to the store for herself. She doesn't remember what items she got. Special Agent Cohen advises her she could get into trouble if she does not tell the truth to him. She says she is supposed to go to basic training on March 17th. She tells him they went to the dollar store. They returned home and were just waiting for Gannon to come home. Her mother said he was supposed to be there by 6 p.m. The last time she saw Gannon was on Monday morning. She believes this was around 8 a.m. When she got home from the store, the house still smelled like smoke from the fire. Her mom was doing normal cleaning like the dishes. She doesn't know if her mom was cleaning carpet or anything like that. Special Agent Cohen explains the items to include baking soda and vinegar were items picked up at the dollar store. Harley states her mom asked her to pick these up. She gave the items picked up to her mom when she got home. Special Agent Cohen asks if she has been following what has happened to Gannon. She tells him no because she got death threats. She agrees to show Special Agent Cohen screenshots of the threats later. Harley says her mom is always cleaning the house. She didn't go into Gannon's room when she got home. She indicates she went looking out for Gannon. She went out looking for Gannon. After the police came to the house and people brought food to them, she thinks it was people from the neighborhood. She got up before 10 a.m. on Tuesday. She doesn't remember her mom leaving early in the morning. She remembers her going to pick Al up from the airport. Tuesday night was weird because it was just her and Lena at home. Her mom and Al were out searching for Gannon. The next time she saw her mom was on Tuesday night. She left the house and went to the First and Main complex where she met her mom. Her mom met her there in her Tiguan vehicle. She believes her mom dropped off her rental car earlier. Her mom left her Tiguan at the complex and rode home with Harley. She thinks they got back to the house at 1 a.m. She says her mom has not told her what to say to authorities. She says her mom wasn't mad about the candle incident. She was more concerned about Gannon being hurt. When they left Colorado, they drove to New Mexico, Texas, and actually stayed a few days in Florida before coming to South Carolina. All of her friends are at Laura Abernathy's house. She says her mom said a few things about Gannon's incident. Mostly these comments are about the accusations people are making about her. She says the police have not been in contact with them. I asked if her mom has told her what she believes happened to Gannon. She tells me no, the interview is ended. And I think that that's it. I don't think we have anything else. I don't think. Oh, wait, hold on. There is some more stuff. I lied. Okay. All right. Okay. This is from Detective Bethel. How can the dates? Oh yeah, no wait, I know when this is. Never mind, I lied. All right, so on Friday, December 18th, 2020, Detective Bethel, began reviewing the download of evidence number 689, a Canon GTX camera, which was seized from 12050 Birch Avenue, Conway, South Carolina. There's no evidentiary value in this section. The videos. The videos searched between 1/20/2020 and 3/2/2020 were made by Letecia's daughter, Harley. In the video, she was creating content for a YouTube channel. The following is a summary of the videos that pertained to this case. They are not verbatim transcription. In the video titled was created on 2/16 at 2:13 a.m. Harley discussed Gannon being missing for 3 weeks. She mentioned how the case has gone nationwide and stated she wanted to discuss some of the assumptions that were made. A smoke detector beeping can be heard in the background. Harley states she was with her family that Sunday morning, but then went to work that evening. Harley said her mother told her about the fire around 10:30 p.m. when she returned home. Harley said they were checking on Gannon throughout the night because they were concerned the fire traumatized Lena. Harley continued saying she checked on Gannon Monday morning or Lena I think it's Lena and then or Gannon. I'm sorry. She went to work from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and she has no knowledge of anything and did not help her mother at all. Harley mentioned her mother had an interview with news reporters and came back to the van to speak with Harley, stated the news station took the conversation between her mother out of context and edited the video to make it sound like she said, "Do you want me to say yes?" Harley denied making this statement and explained she was asking her mother if she could talk about any other things such as the fire because she did not want to hinder the investigation. Harley said people were accusing her of doing it herself or helping her mother. Harley added this was not true. Harley said she has been getting death threats and messages from random people. She said she wanted to remind people she is a minor. She asked for people to focus on Gannon being missing and their family is hurting. Harley said the public needs to stop coming up with accusations. Harley said the video is to bring Gannon home and described him as kind and loving and helpful. Harley discussed the things that Gannon wanted, like helping people. She moved onto Facebook and said the groups were created to be needed to be taken down. Harley asked people to come together to pray for Gannon and to bring him home. Harley spoke more about getting threats on Facebook and people are trying to ruin her life. Harley again mentioned she wanted to make a video for Gannon and for everyone to come together to think about a child is missing and to stop hurting her family more than they are already hurting. Harley said Gannon was always so sweet and caring and she missed his smile. She hopes to find out something soon so he could come home. She told Gannon they all loved him and are all there for him and were praying for him. Harley discussed her schedule on Sunday and Monday and said she did not help her mother and did not know anything that happened. She mentioned she saw Gannon Sunday night after the fire. He was fine. Harley said because of all the false accusations that have been made, she lost everything and her family has been torn apart. Harley stated police came, put her in handcuffs, and were screaming at her. She said she did not know why she had to be put in handcuffs and she was not a fugitive. Harley said she witnessed her mother have a gun pointed at her and the police took her phone and her car that she had been paying for. Harley added it was wrong and the police will not give it back to her. Harley listed other property that was seized by police, such as her passport, birth certificate, and her computer. Harley said all of that happened because of the false accusations, and she has so much stress on her and is terrified because they might come running at her with a gun again. Harley mentioned she was putting the video on this platform because she has locked down all her other social media after people found her. She mentioned people are commenting hateful things and what people are doing is wrong. She accused people of not considering that Gannon is missing and they as a family don't know what to do to help. Harley talked about the video being for Gannon and how they wanted him to be home safe. Harley asked people to be proactive to bring Gannon home. The video concluded. There's another one that was created on 2/16/2020. Harley discussed Gannon being missing and her work schedule. She denied knowing what happened to Gannon or helping her mother. The content of the video looks similar to the video labeled, and I don't know what it is. The video concluded. Another one on 2/16 at 2:36. Harley stated she was making the video to bring Gannon home. She stated the accusations made were hindering the investigation. Harley said she wanted to do what Gannon would do, which is to be kind to one another. Harley said the accusations have hindered the investigation, but is not helping to find Gannon. Harley asked people to work together and focus on Gannon and other missing children. Harley asked people to stop putting people down and said there was no reason she should be receiving death threats. Harley said it is hurtful to her and no one knows what the police have done to her and her family. Harley said the people making the bad comments are hurting a minor and are talking to a minor based on a situation where another minor is missing. Harley mentioned her mother was being accused as well. Harley believed because of the accusation, the police hunted her down, put her in handcuffs, and took all her property. Harley said she was not even there. She was at work and she has done nothing wrong. Harley said she wanted the drama to stop and wants to bring her brother home. She said Gannon deserves better and does not deserve the hateful comments toward the family. Harley told Gannon they all love him, miss him, and want him there. The video concluded. There's another video, and Harley stated she wanted to say her mom would never do anything to hurt those children because she loved them like they were her own, and she would do anything for them. Harley added her mother loved them with all her heart. Harley showed and the dogs and told him they missed him and loved him and they wanted him home. The video concluded. And I think that that is it. Yes. Okay. So, as we know, there was an interview given, and my mind is blank right now on the guy that excuse me, hold on. The reporter. I can't think of his name right now. Okay. Okay. So I took that portion. I recorded the whole interview, but then I clipped it. And what I clipped it down to, hold on a second. What happened? Uh-oh. No idea why this opened. Hold on a second, you guys. Can you guys all still hear me? Still good? I hope so. Yeah, you guys can hear me now. Okay. So Spencer Wilson, thank you, Andrea. I appreciate that. I could not, my mind was blank, I guess, because of all the stuff that I've been reading. Anyway, I took that interview and I adjusted the audio. All I did was turn it up. I didn't do anything else other than that. And listen, I'm going to let you guys hear it and then we're going to talk about it. Okay. Are you ready? Here it goes.
Say anything about the investigation. So you can just say so again if you can't answer this. But is there anything we can hear about the hike? Was there a hike? That just seems like rumors right now.
You know what? Could we bring my daughter up here? Because she can go and say that, she came home from work after the hike and she can verify that Gannon was at our home.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine with me. If she doesn't want to, that's okay, but you're allowed to say after. Not okay so far?
Yes. I need Harley. Because they want you to verify was Gannon at home after the hike. Because you didn't go to the hike, but you came home from work.
Want me to just say yes?
No, just answer the question. Yes, you came home from work and you can verify Gannon was at home. Yeah. I told her she didn't have to be too in depth because she is still, a child. But I want to make sure that someone knows that there's another person to verify that Gannon.
Sure.
Does she need to hold this?
No.
Yes. So I came home later that evening. I was at work and I can verify that he was there that night.
So there was a hike that you guys went on, but then you guys came home.
Yes.
Where'd you guys go hiking?
Garden of the Gods.
Oh, yes. Okay. I guess
And then we ate Burger King afterwards. So,
there you go.
Yeah.
And then it just was, I'm going to go to play at a friend's house. And then it was just, I'm off to go to play at a friend's house.
Unfortunately, I'm not able to.
All right. Now, I have edited 11 billion videos. Okay. I have to say this. First of all, I don't hear an edit. And the reason, if they did edit it, which I don't think that they did, to be honest with you, Harley says, do you want me to say yes? That's what she said. You want me to say yes? It happened. That's what happened. Also, Letecia says, I told her she doesn't have to go too in depth. You didn't say anything like that, Letecia. What are you talking about with your hot mic? So that is all. Well, I don't know, Jacob. I'm glad you found it. So all I did to the video, okay, was I adjusted the audio. Okay. I edited, I I can't even talk. See, this is what happens when I read Letecia's stuff about Letecia too much. It just makes my mind all wonky. Anyway, what I did was reduce the background noise, take out any echo, and that's all I did. I don't have any really specialized equipment. I did it on Adobe Premiere Rush. Okay, so it doesn't let you. It's not like all that fancy. All right, I'm not like a sound engineer or anything. And then I turned the clip all the way up. So Harley did say, "You want me to say yes?" That's what she said. That's what you can hear. And the thing is that the reason I don't think that it's been edited is, why would they? There is no reason for them to do that. You know, this was not some conspiracy against Letecia. That's not what happened. I know that that's what Harley was told by her mother, like a lot. So I can sort of understand why she may have thought that, but she did actually say that. And you can tell because there's actually overlapping audio. There's overlapping audio between Letecia and Harley. As Letecia finishes a word, Harley starts a word. And if I think that if they were going to edit it, they would have edited it way better than that. And there's no break in between. You want me to say yes, because then Letecia speaks immediately. I don't know. It just doesn't, it's not edit. I know we're just the worst. Poor Dr. T. She is so very misunderstood, Jacob. It's, we just don't understand how smart and giving and charitable and all the things good that Dr. T is. It's just, we're just all bad. Okay, so that's all I had for you guys. Thank you for being patient while I was trying to find the part of Harley's testimony that was actually important. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. If you haven't done so, would you please give your girl a thumbs up? I will be live tomorrow night, hopefully with Crime Curious and Alex Erickson. And I'm going to switch around the topic that we're going to be discussing on Serial Sunday. Instead of discussing That Girl is Poison, we're going to be discussing, ready for it, BTK. That's what we're going to be talking about. So, yeah. So anyway, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. And I feel like you guys were all like super polite in the chat, even if you have differing opinions. I mean, nobody has to agree. And I'm going to tell you now that we're all done with everything. My opinion is, I don't know. I don't know. All I can say, I don't know how I feel about Harley. I'm on the fence with her. I do think that I'm going to take a wait and see approach with Harley. If we ever hear from her again and it's related to some kind of crime, then, obviously. But for now, I'm kind of taking a wait and see, because I don't think, and we talked about this on Allie's channel the other night, I don't personally think that the cops or the investigators, law enforcement, FBI included, ever thought that Harley participated in the murder of Gannon. I think the worst thing I think that they thought initially was that she helped after the fact. But they didn't charge her with that, and they could have, and they didn't. So that's all I can go by for now. We'll see. But anyway, thank you guys for being here. Have a great rest of your Saturday night and Sunday morning. And I will see you guys all back here at 9 Eastern for Serial Sunday. Bye.